This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
The following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, it doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, yeah, baby. How are you doing after this wonderful weekend that we just had? Oh, today's Monday, April the 21st. No, it is not. What is wrong with you? April the 27th of 2020, day 118th of the year, and only 248 days to go before the year's over with. Anyways, how are you? How was everything? Did you have a fantastic weekend? Did you have some fun? Did you do some things out of the ordinary that you weren't doing? So, what do I mean by that? If you're in quarantine, did you change from one room to another? Did you change from the den to the living room to the dining room, from the master bedroom to the guest bedroom, from the master bedroom to your children's bedroom? I don't know. I don't know what there is to do anymore. I keep on looking at it and I go, wow, this is some amazing stuff on what we got going on. Pretty different, of course, as we take a look at it and we move forward. So, you are listening currently to us on safetyfm.com, safetyfm.tv, if you're doing the viewer, the streamer, the TV aspect, whatever you want to call it. But we are also now available, and this is because of my buddy, my friend Sheldon Primus, got this worked out for us. We are now available at safety.fm. That is safety.fm. Pretty excited about that one. So that is one word, no .com there, just safety.fm is we're available right there as well. So good times there. As you are aware, you can come onto our different streaming platforms, hang out, do some questions, do some lingo inside of there. Looks like some of the boxes are working today, so just so you know. I still always have some struggles with Facebook. Don't know why that's the case. I just do. Meaning in regards to the chat box, not that I don't know how to use Facebook. Duh. I mean, that's kind of obvious how to use that shit, I would hope. So, let's get you started right away with some feature story news, and we'll get you moving and grooving right here.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Simon Marks. The British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is back at work for the first time following 3 weeks of treatment and recuperation for coronavirus. He says Britain is in the process of flattening its COVID-19 infection curve, but the country is at the moment of maximum risk in its battle.
Thanks to our collective national resolve, we are on the brink of achieving that first clear mission to prevent our National Health Service from being overwhelmed in a way that tragically we have seen elsewhere. And so it follows that this is the moment of opportunity. This is the moment when we can press home our advantage. It is also the moment of maximum risk.
Speaking outside number 10 Downing Street there, he said it's too early to relax guidelines and restrictions and put the country back to work. In the United States, a vastly different message. Several states across the country are now relaxing their lockdowns. And at the White House, Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany says the economy is poised to bounce back.
We have the president who constructed the greatest, hottest economy in modern history. And President Trump will do it a second time. He believes there's a lot of pent-up demand in this country, a lot of people ready to get back to work, ready to go out and buy things and go to restaurants.
But she says the president has now scrubbed a planned White House briefing on coronavirus that was due to take place later on Monday. His nightly appearance is now shelved after last week's episode in which he suggested disinfectant injections might make an appropriate treatment for COVID-19. The Indian government is considering a $39 billion relief package for medium and small enterprises. Authorities hope it will underpin the country's economy, which is shut due to coronavirus restrictions. From FSN's bureau in New Delhi, Ishan Garg reports.
The money would be used to guarantee bank loans secured by companies and to pay for the loan if any businesses default on their commitment. Since the lockdown started almost 40 days ago, manufacturing is shut and consumption has fallen drastically in India. India's small businesses have had to furlough millions of daily wage earners. The government hopes that the stimulus measures will help workers get back on their feet. The lockdown is scheduled to end on May 3rd, but is likely to be extended as coronavirus cases continue to rise steadily in India. Ishan Garg, New Delhi.
More than 87,000 people in Russia have now been diagnosed with coronavirus, overtaking China's official figures on the pandemic. Russian authorities say more than 3 million tests have been carried out. One other headline, Saudi Arabia says it will no longer impose the death penalty for crimes committed by people when they were underage. The move comes just days after the kingdom abandoned the punishment of flogging. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Absolutely nothing wrong with listening to the sound of the toilet flush, depending on what you're getting down there. Anyway, so that's some pretty interesting stuff. Did you know about the president no longer doing the nightly briefings? And what do you think about it? Now, of course, some people last week said that the whole aspect of the Clorox injection, or not Clorox, disinfectant, let's use the correct words, was blown out of proportion. Well, if it was blown out of proportion, why haven't they decided to move forward and get away from it?
Duh.
But I better be careful here before I proceed on, and let me give you the information that I'm told to give you.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Hey, it's not about trying to be entertaining here. It's about giving you some information, but of course not catching some shit for what I have to say. Because that's what happens from time to time. So what do you think? Do you think that it was changed for that particular reason? Do you think, I mean, of course you just heard it there on Feature Story News. Also some questions that already popped up was, why in the hell was my picture flashing? I don't know. Felt like covering my face for a couple minutes there. The other portion is that is going to be the new cover for the podcast. So kind of double work there. New cover for the podcast. You will see that as the new cover for the Rated R Safety Show. If you are listening to us on the radio station, or you are listening to a newer version of the podcast, you will see that as the new aspect starting today. Yeah, some changes wanted to be done there. My face for radio decided to be used for the cover. Yeah, if you're taking a look at us on safetyfm.tv, you will also notice some changes to the background. It is not fake. If you look at my hand, you'll see the dots. So it is not a fake background, and you see the shadow. Woohoo, the shadow. Anyway, so that's there as well. So anyways, as we are doing this, let's get you to the portion that you claimed that you wanted to do, and let's get you into the news, because that's really why you're here, isn't it?
Bringing you information you never knew you cared about. Rated R Safety Show.
So taking it from the top, a new study shows that cold-blooded frogs once thrived in Antarctica. I don't know. Just telling you what's in the news, man. What does this mean? Okay, the discovery was first made in 2015, and the species is believed to be related to frogs currently living in South America. The specimen is believed to be 40 million years old and was found on the island of Antarctic Peninsula, just 700 miles south of Tierra del Fuego. So, if you're into frogs, maybe that's cool for you. I don't know. I'm not into frogs, but I thought it was an interesting news story because it was something out of the ordinary that was not coronavirus related, which we need some from time to time. We need some stuff that's not coronavirus. So, of course, starting off with the frogs gets us moving right away to some stuff that's related to, guess what? You thought about it. You said it. The Central of Disease Control has 6 more reasons to worry about the coronavirus infection. In addition to fever, cough, and shortness of breath, symptoms widely reported, it's adding chills, sore throat, new loss of taste or smell, muscle pain, and headaches to their list. So if you take a look at it now, that is some things that are pretty common to most people. The headache portion, muscle pain, sore throat, chills. Now that I think about it, there's a whole John Travolta joke about the chills thing, if you are hanging out online. So I don't know. I'm going to start thinking, that a lot of people are going to start coming under the assumption that they have this shit. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that, people are going to run out and say, hey, I need to be tested because, hey, I have the coronavirus based on these symptoms.
Duh.
And I don't know if that's going to be the case. By the way, I want you to know I'm double pumping now the button.
Duh.
To get the duh out. Yeah, the double pump button for the duh. So if you're watching me on the TV, on the video stream, you'll see me do some more hand gestures now. And that's the reason behind it. Just for information purposes, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, did you hear about this one? I know that Zoom has become popular amongst a lot of us that are staying at home and having to do work from there. So if you are home, Facebook is taking on Zoom's popular group video chat capabilities. The Book Messenger Rooms platform will start rolling out this week in select countries ahead of the global launch. It allows up to 50 people to connect and chat by video. And here's the kicker. The kicker is right here. Without any time limit. A core limitation for Zoom users. Now, of course, that's a core limitation for Zoom users unless you want to pay, baby. Yeah, pay for it. Because that's what Zoom's about is, of course, making some money. Nothing against that, of course. There's nothing wrong with making moolah if you have the opportunity to. And, of course, if they're providing you with a service, that's something to take a look at. Because who's not in this for making some kind of money?
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show. Self-implode on our airwaves. Only on Safety FM.
So over the weekend, I received some emails, some messages saying if I had heard back about the challenge that I had presented to the CEO and the president of the ASSP about coming on to the radio station before May the 5th. I will tell you that the answer is no. The answer is no. And don't worry, those are the only two that I am willing to have the conversation with on the radio streaming platform, just in case if you are curious. Not anyone else, not a delegate, not someone else that's trying to step up into the position. Those are the two people that the invite's for, just in case. Because I know that we talk about theater of the mind. We talk about the works. We talk about the shoots. I will tell you that if you kind of sat here through the episode where we had the discussion of the different lingo, this is not a work. This is a shoot. This is exactly what we're talking about. It's a shoot. So they're more than welcome to come on. We'll do it live and in living color on safetyfm.com or safety.fm, and we'll stream it live. No editing, no bullshit, just straight. Have an option. Don't have to do it. This is the option that's available. May the 5th. We got that counting down. Have to give people options, I know people are busy. They don't have time to drop what they're doing. But May the 5th is Tuesday of next week. Also Taco Tuesday. Can't forget that. Looks like we're going to be actually locked up during Taco Tuesday on May the 5th. Don't know if you'll be drinking Corona on that time. Something to think about there.
Duh.
But the invite is still there for them to have the availability to come on to the show. Yeah, that would be live streaming. It's just questions. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing crazy. Just questions and answers. That's it. And it's still related to the same thing. The event of events. Nothing else. Not going to go down some deep, long rabbit hole here today about that. You know where I stand. You know it's a shoot. It's not a work. We're having the conversation. I'm putting it out there. It's presenting a challenge, giving you some options to address it to people. But I think that all we're going to get is a Wednesday traditional episode of here's what we're updating. And they'll get the Wednesday traditional episode that they send out. Video. Not address it. And then we'll see. And this gives us until Tuesday, May the 5th. By then, we'll take a look and then start talking about some other things that interest me inside of there.
Rated R Safety Show. Sarcastic? Never.
Anyways, let's take a look at this real quick. Cumulative streams of Spotify top 200 U.S. songs tumbled 28% between March the 12th and April the 16th, as people spend less time in their cars and commuting. But that doesn't mean that people still aren't listening to music. Instead, gravitating towards comfort music, according to one media analyst, Bob Marley's catalog is up 23% in March to April, and icons like Bob Dylan and Hank Williams Jr. are getting their own lifts as well. So if you're listening to Bob Marley, well, you know, some good music, some good reggae. Sometimes a lot of people have some additional fun as they're listening to Bob Marley. Nothing against the good old Bob Marley there, for sure. But it could be some fun times. Depending what you're doing there. Just so you are fully aware. So fun stuff there. If you are sick of staying held up at home, making efforts to sneak out every once in a while, you're not alone, just so you know. Analysts of cell phone data shows that Americans are staying home less than during the height of the lockdown. The shift of the week of April the 17th was small, but showed a decline in the national average of people who didn't travel more than about, let's say, a mile slip from 33% to about 31%. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The number of personal daily trips also increased by 4% overall, as well as travel time between counties and states. The timing coincides with President Trump's call to ease restrictions in certain parts of the country. So what are you doing right now? Are you going around and going about? Now, I will tell you, being here in good old Florida, there is a beach not too far from where I'm at, and they say that you can do public exercise. I don't do anything crazy. I mean, I don't go out there and start doing CrossFit or anything crazy like that. I mean, look at me. Look at me if you're watching the video stream. But we go out there and we do some stuff, do some walking. A lot of distancing between us and anybody else, that's for sure. But we take a look at it and go, okay, cool. As we do this, this is what the option of what we're doing. But it's not super close, but it's not super far. And, you know, I've questioned some of the things about it, about actually doing it, if it does make sense, or if it's one of those things that I shouldn't be doing it. I mean, I stay locked up pretty much all the other time that I'm not here or going down there. And, of course, I run to the grocery store. And that's about it. That's about the highlight of what goes on for the most part. So what are you doing? How are you chilling? What are you doing that's different? Are you doing anything? Are you in an area where your stay-at-home orders have changed? I should use that term orders very, very lightly. Very lightly, because it's different. It's not exactly, you know, it's not like you're on lockdown where you're under house arrest. I mean, some people are saying that it's that severe, and some areas are that severe. So how are you looking at it? What are you doing? Are you having fun at least? I mean, I'll tell you, I've probably watched more TV at home over the last few weeks than anything else. I've read a lot of books, too. That's the other thing. Been reading a lot. Trying to catch up on a lot of stuff that I wanted to know. Also been doing some editing of some audio book. Yeah, that one will be coming out soon. Don't know if I should be talking about it. I'm sure, you know, we'll put it up on Audible to get it out there. No, it is not my book. That's for sure. Who knows what kind of thing I would actually get into if I started writing a book.
Listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
So the China National Space Administration has named its maiden voyage to Mars spacecraft Tianwen. Yeah, Tianwen, meaning questions to heaven. The unnamed Martian explorer is expected to launch later this year. Its name isn't just symbolic. It's a poem written over 2,000 years ago by someone named Ku Wan, in which he raised a philosophical question about the stars and space. So pretty interesting there on how that ended up working out. Take a look at it and go, okay, cool. That's pretty interesting. Did you hear about this one? This was a pretty interesting story. Amazon's 1.2 trillion market capitalized now composes 40% of the total value of the S&P 500. Let's try that one more time. Amazon's $1.2 trillion market capitalization now encompasses 40% of the total value of the S&P 500. 40%. Did you hear that? 40%. After an immense instability, the S&P is now just 16% off of its all-time high, which was soaring in February and early March. So only 16% off, which is not terrible if you really take a look at it, especially with everything going on. So something to think about there. Let's continue. Tropical Depression 1E that formed Saturday in the Pacific Ocean is the earliest recorded weather event of its kind. The Hurricane Center said it achieved maximum sustained winds at the 35 miles per hour and eventually dissipated. Wow, I can't even speak today. In deep water, some 730 miles southwest of Baja California Peninsula. Well, that's good. Went bye-bye. That's important. Don't want to be dealing with hurricanes at this particular point. Also, Venus will appear as the brightest of all year tonight. Around 8 p.m. Central Time, Venus has been easily visible since late last summer and will linger until roughly about June the 3rd. Tonight, it's about 3 times brighter than it has been at its dimmest. So if you are into that kind of stuff, I would recommend strongly going out there into your yard. If you have a telescope, even better. And take a look at this thing. It'll be at the brightest 3 times of its dimmest at about 8 p.m., 9 Central, however you want to look at it. So something to look forward to, for sure. Anyways, I'm sure you heard this one occur over the weekend. There was a lot of information, a lot of speculation, really nothing confirmed 100%. Just been a lot of rumors on this one, so we'll talk about it really quick as it pops up here. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un hasn't been seen in public for about 2 weeks now, is what they're saying, leading the world intelligence community to try to figure out what happened. News broke late week that he was recovering from a heart stent procedure, which was likely the emergency procedure because he would have to have made efforts to be at the April 15th Day Sun festivities, the nation's most important public holiday to honor its founder, Kim Il-sung. CNN reported, according to South Korean intelligence, that Junior is alive and well, recovering in Walsan area for the last 2 weeks. Now, let's continue, because meanwhile, while this has been taking place, Reuters is reporting that the team of Chinese doctors and medical experts went to North Korea to advise Junior's health condition, but no determination about his health has been made. The other portion. CNN then reported that Junior is in grave danger following the procedure. One report over the weekend indicated that the stent replacement went so poorly because the surgeon's hands were trembling so severely. Now, there were some news reports as well that said that he was dead. But then MSNBC Katie Tur tweeted and then deleted an account from 2 U.S. officials that Junior was alive but brain dead, slipping into a coma during cardiac surgery. A report confirmed by NBC News. Rumors swirl about the line of succession in North Korea, but it is assumed that Kim Young-jong Jr.'s sister and confidant would be the next in line. So I don't know. A lot to think about here. There's a lot of information that's not very sequenced with each other. One says one thing, another one says another, and who knows what the hell to believe. I don't know what's going on. I look at it and go, shit, man, is he dead or is he alive? And I mean, there's some mixed feelings there across the board of what's going on with the dude. What's your general feeling about it? What do you think? Do you look at it one way, shape, or form? Do you look at it and go, this makes no sense? This is a good thing. This is a bad thing. Who knows what's going to happen with that country if he did pass away? And who knows what's going to happen if he's still alive? So many things to think about here.
Listen to our host
Of the Rated R Safety Show.
self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
So I'm going to share some information with you. Last week we spoke briefly, and I said, think about the number 7. So over the weekend, some information broke if you follow a lot of the safety world stuff of some things going on. And this one's related to me, so I'm going to share it with you so you can see what I'm talking about. So over the weekend, if you're familiar with this particular group, it's a human and organizational performance consortium that they're referring themselves as the HopHub. So you can go to hophub.org to get some more information. If you're on the video stream, you'll be able to see this as I do this live here. So the HopHub consortium consists of some people here. So if you take a look at their website, it has some resources available, some operational learning, some alignment stuff, and stuff about fundamentals, and you'll see that there's a group here that this consists of. And right now, you have people such as Dr. Todd Conklin, Bob Edwards, Andrea Baker, Mark Yeston, Martha Acosta, Helen Harris, and yes, yours truly, number 7, Jay Allen. So now I have become part of the HopHub consortium. I'm very excited about being part of this group. We will still do this show. I mean, don't get me wrong. Things will kind of be the same here. The HopHub is the consortium made up by the 7 of us. We have had the opportunity to get to work with companies, both big and small, to help them advance on their hop journey. Our goal is to help you, not need us. So pretty exciting times there. I was pretty excited to be extended an invitation to join the group. So that did take place. So now I am part of this consortium. There are a lot of great resources there. So if you do get a chance, feel free on coming by the website, hophub.org. That's HOPHUB.org to obtain some more information about, we'll say, what we have going on. So come on by, take a listen, take a view, and I don't know, go from there.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
So, as we have discussed in the past, some people said, hey, give us some stuff that's going on in the rumor mills, some things that are going on, even if they're outside of the safety world. So if you're a Chicago Bears fan or Miami Dolphins fan or whatever the hell he was, Jay Cutler and his wife, Kristen Cavallari, from the Hills fame, are calling it quits. The former NFL QB and reality star made the announcement on Instagram on Sunday, sharing that after a decade together, they have simply grown apart, and they will be getting a divorce. The couple share 3 kids, better saying, age 7, 5, and 4. I think it was pretty amazing noticing or coming to the realization that this was occurring during a quarantine, but hey, it is what it is. Everybody has their own personal circumstances. Also, if you heard over the weekend, Catherine Schwarzenegger, daughter of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and wife to Chris Pratt, announced over the weekend that she is expecting. So, good times there for them. Let's continue down the path here. No winner for Friday night's Mega Million drawing. Tuesday's drawing will be for a $186 million jackpot or $150.12 million cash payout. Also, no winner for Saturday night's Powerball drawing. Wednesday's drawing will be for $43 million cash payout. Matter of fact, that's a lie. It will be for $43 million jackpot or $35.3 million cash payout. So if you play that kind of stuff, good for you. Also, I don't know if you heard this. Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson are stepping up to help the coronavirus. In a recent interview for NPR, Wait, Don't Tell Me podcast, the actor said that the couple has volunteered to donate blood for COVID-19 research after recovering from the disease. Hanks joked that he would like to call the vaccine the Hanksine. Now, isn't that going to be interesting on how that's going to work? If he's able to help out and they do come up with a vaccine from this thing. The guy that brought you Forrest Gump also assisted in saving the world. I can imagine the obituary already. And I'm talking about when he passes away, now that he's going to die right now. So just think about that for a moment. So, what else do you got going on? Anything interesting for the rest of the day? A lot of stuff going on here at Safety FM as we have been discussing, just so you are aware. We will be talking some more about it here later in the week, but on May the 1st, we will be doing some shifts around. You'll see some changes on Safety FM, the radio station, and some changes with the podcast. So, for a while here, we've been hosting a lot of different podcasts. And we've been doing a lot of radio streaming. The radio streaming is not going away. But what we have decided to do, opposed to bringing you to one section, one thing, some people said, hey, I like going to, example, the pre-accident website, the pre-accident podcast website, better saying. I like going to the Accidental Safety Pro website. So opposed to housing everything at safetyfm.com, we're going to redirect people when they click on it to go to the main page on where the podcast comes from. Now, some of them will look similar because some of them will stay with us here at Safety FM, even though we are using another service provider. So right now, if you are taking a listen to us on the Spreaker website, that's Spreaker.com/SafetyFM, starting on May the 1st, we will no longer be there. SafetyFM.com or Safety.fm or SafetyFM.live will be the main source of our radio stream. Don't get me wrong, my love for Spreaker has not changed. Spreaker has been there with us since we pretty much rolled out this bad boy. And we're going to talk about them some more because I love them. I think they're great. I think they're a great service. But we got to the point where there were some other options that became available to us. And now that we grew up, we're too big for the britches here, that we said, hey, we're going to move because of this. We decided we needed to move because of some of the things that were going on. And there were some redundancies in the radio station. So what do I mean by that? Well, we had two radio stations, one being safetyfm.com and the one that's actually airing on Spreaker. So it was kind of like a relay. Well, I'll put it that way. It was a relay of the radio station. Not that that's a bad thing. But of course, with doing a relay, there was a cost associated to it. So it's still pulling the same information from safetyfm.live or safetyfm.fm or safetyfm.com or whatever the hell you want to call it, because we have so many different ones now. So we had to make the decision, and don't get me wrong, I want to make sure I'm clear here. I still love Spreaker. I really do. But we had to make the decision to pull back the radio station because we were doing a redundancy. And so we're going to stay with the platform that we're on in regards to the Safety FM radio station because, we have the app built out for it that you can actually get on the iOS. You can get it on the Android platform. You can also get it on the Alexa skill set. And we've been working on that one for a while. Now, I'm going to say that, we've been with Spreaker for a while. And I'm talking about overall. I'm talking about podcasts. I'm talking about, we started to do the radio stream roughly about a year ago. The radio stream for Spreaker in particular was about a year ago, but we had been doing the radio stream for probably about a year or so prior to going to Spreaker. So the decision was made to move forward and just stick with safetyfm.com and safetyfm.live and safety.fm for the streaming service because we already had the apps built out, as I already said. So with that being said, we love the people at Spreaker, but come here on April the 30th. We will no longer be there. That will be our last day. May the 1st being the first day that we will no longer be there. So if you are following along on the podcast will redirect to our new service provider. We've already actually made that move. So you should not see anything interrupted. But if you are taking a listen to us, streaming on the radio station aspect, and you are using Spreaker, that will be no more after the 30th. You will only be able to find us at safetyfm.com unless you're using the apps. Now, we're available on Sonos and iTunes radio, or not iTunes. What is it? It's TuneIn Radio. And some different aspects there. That's not going anywhere. But we will be removing ourselves from Spreaker. But don't get me wrong. Love Spreaker to death. This almost sounds like an endorsement and a plug for Spreaker. Believe me, they are not a paid sponsor by no means. But we have had a great relationship with the people at Spreaker. I could not say anything better about them. They're also known as Voxnex, depending on where you're at in the countries. But yeah, they're a great service, and I'm really grateful for the relationship that we've had over the years. And hate to see the parting of the way, but there was just some redundancies there, as we already discussed. Anyways, let's talk about the days of the year that you can celebrate before I let you go real quick. Taking it from the top, National Babe Ruth Day. National Devil Dog Day. National Prime Rib Day. And National Tell a Story Day. We'll talk about it once again because we have been talking about it every single day. I don't think we should stop talking about it. I think it's important information. We talk about it because this is the world that we're living in right now. So I want to mention to you one more time, just in case if you forgot or you had some thoughts over the weekend. But keep in mind that you can go to the Suicide Prevention Lifeline. If you need help, you are suffering from depression, if you're having some thoughts, suicidal thoughts, call 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255. They are there to be able to assist you. As we speak right now, you can actually use the chat box on their website to communicate with someone. They do not have their text messaging currently turned on, just so you know. But if you are having some thoughts related to depression or suicide, please do not hesitate on contacting them. That's the Suicide Prevention Hotline. You could reach them at suicidepreventionlifeline.org. That's suicidepreventionlifeline.org, or call 1-800-273-8255. Thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM, and that is the listener. I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you. Mean it. Bye.
Duh.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.